Today I got some disturbing news and I thought I wanted to share with the rest of you. Let you know what's been going on here in the US. Seems very much like what happened in Huatzinapa, where the 40 students disappeared in Mexico and they were taken captive, and we hear stories that they were tortured and killed, or put in a mass grave, and they still haven't been found. The government is, especially now with AMLO, he has promised to give the family members of those 40, I believe it was 43 students, um, answers to their questions regarding the disappearance of those young people. Well, now it looks like we're having. Hello, Corina Munson. We we're having a lot of news from Portland, Oregon, that there's unmarked, camouflaged, unmarked minivans with camouflaged personnel. Now, let me show you. This is off of OPB, a news magazine on the internet here. And so here it says federal law enforcement use unmarked vehicles to grab protesters off of Portland streets. And you can see that that's pretty shocking, right? When I saw that, it scared the heck out of me. Hi, Korea. And um, anyway, so it was really just very frightening to me. And I researched it. My brother mentioned it to me, and so I looked it up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it really is happening. So what happened in Mexico, to get back on that topic, is that the students were taken away, and they believed they were put into mass graves. The political officials and military personnel that were involved um, uh, have had like a code of silence, and they haven't told, and nobody still knows what happened to them. Um, are they alive? Are they dead? Where are they buried if they are alive? Um, so, hello, Beatriz. Beatriz is usually with me on these channels. She likes to learn English. Okay, so anyway, these young people and older people now in the U.S. are disappearing. So that's pretty scary, right? See where I've graded out, where it says um, people in camouflage were driving around the streets in the area in unmarked minivans, grabbing people off the streets. And some, I understand, have, not been heard from again, which is scary, which is what happened in Mexico. So yeah, that's. I just thought I wanted to share that with you guys. If you can see here, it says. Let me go ahead and move this over. Whoa, no, I don't want to do that because I want you guys to be able to see it here. Okay, up here. Okay, so they barely made it half a block. Unmarked minivan pulled up, and in front of them, they saw some guys in camo, and four of them opened the door and see. So they were taken off. Some of these guys were returned, but see, there's another one here. They shot somebody in the face with supposedly a less lethal type of gun, and they shot him in the face, and I believe he's like in ICU. Let's see, federal have been arrested and released, including Pettibone. They also left one demonstrator hospitalized with skull fractures after shooting him in the face with so-called less lethal munitions on July 11th. So, yeah, that's really scary. Wow. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting. This is part of my. I can't move it to a different spot because I've got two screens, and so if you see me looking this way, it's because I'm I'm trying to see the what it says right there. Okay, so let's see. Oshia said they ran when he saw some people wearing camouflage jump out in unmarked vehicle. Okay, so I put in the link. I put a copy of the link so that you could go and read this for yourself, but it's pretty long. But anyway, they basically tossed him into a van, and they pulled over my face so I couldn't see, and they held my hands over my head. Wow. So you can see here this picture here. Let me see if we can make it bigger. Oy. Oh, wow. So you can see these guys. These guys are the ones that are. Oh, wow. So yeah, there's a lot of this going on. Pretty scary. If you want to look that up, I saw this. All I did was Google it, and this came up, right? But I wanted you to see the pictures of. See, they have their face covered up, and so they don't know who's taking them away, who took them, where they went. All of a sudden, they disappear. That's pretty darn scary, don't you think? So anyway, hi Mike Misa. It's about time. Oh my gosh, you don't understand. It's scary. You know, it's scary that they can take people away and they disappear, because you don't know when you're going to be on the wrong side. See, there's a guy named here, Mike Mise, who says it's about time from Facebook. But you know, you never know when you're going to be on the wrong side. You know, you may think that this one doesn't affect you, and you know you're not troubled by it. But what if someday they've got it turned around and you're losing your rights, and you're out demonstrating against something that they're taking away from you? So you never know when you're not gonna like it quite so much that something bad is happening, right? You agree with Mike. Hi, Melissa. I know that some people agree with that. I mean, it depends on what the protest is about. You don't know what these protests are about, do you? It's not necessarily, if you think it's just black people that are suffering some of these injustices, you know, sometimes you're going to come to a point. For example, in our workplace, we've had things happen to us that are something we would like to protest. And we might be the ones that are being taken away and, you know, to lost forever, you know, to be taken away by some military type vehicle or van, and people in camouflage taking us away. I sometimes fear that, to tell you the truth, with the way things happen at my work, which I'm not going to mention during this video, but the way the administration works, you feel like your rights are taken away, and really, can you really protest? Can you safely protest to have the rights? For example, recently the union for the nurses, which I am a nurse, and so is Melissa Schoenfield, you know, we were out there protesting against some of the treatment that the nurses are getting. And it could have very easily been us being taken away, never to be heard from again. So, yes, maybe you agree with this particular bunch of protesters being taken away, but it could also be something that you believe in someday, that that you would be taken away and you know, put into a position where you would not have any recourse, where you would basically disappear. So yeah, there's some other situations. We saw that there was some people that were being that were protesting. Now I saw another protest where there were some people dressed in military, no, not in military, They were dressed, and they were taken, and they took up arms in their protest. And oddly enough, those particular um, protesters, nobody interfered with them. Everybody kept their distance. But of course, but if you're a protester that is, uh, being, honorable, and you're not out there. Hello, Beatriz. Um, if you're out there and you're not protecting yourself with guns or other types of weapons, you're at risk for being something like this happening to you that happened to these people. And again, I don't know what the protest was about here. What is Pettibone? He's a white guy. Um, we do not want or need their help. What is this all about? Okay. Justice over Mark federal. See, it was a courthouse situation, and you don't even know what they're protesting. And some of you say you're in agreement with them being hauled away and disappeared. I don't understand that kind of thinking, truly, because it's scary to me that could happen to any of us here. And it just doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel safe to be able to speak your mind anymore. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anybody got anything to say about that? Any responses to that? Hey, Melissa, I'll call you. Yeah, I will. I'll give you a call. Um, so, AT, hola, saludos desde. Oh, someone's calling from. Someone, AT is in Los Angeles, saying hello. Josie Miranda, Jesse Miranda. I'm not sure where you're from. Where are you from, Jesse? Um, Honor with Lopez. Yes. Martin Ramos says it's an honor to be with Lopez Obrador. Yes, it is. He is doing such a great job, and it was so nice and heart warming, the interaction that happened with Obrador. It was the first time that Obrador had left the country, when he visited with President Trump, and they had a very good reunion. Apparently, they, had a dinner. He treated him very kindly, very respectfully, and the Mexican people were very happy about that. They were very, how shall I say, they felt honored and grateful that President Trump behaved in such a respectful way with Obrador, AMLO. So, so far right now, the regarding the people that have disappeared, I'm not really sure what the family's saying about it, but we could look up other. Let's see if there's any other sites that talk about this. Okay, so let me go back to here. So this is where I put in Portland, Oregon protests. I heard that they were, people were being forced into vehicles. Let's see this one. Okay, Portland. Okay. Okay, we don't want none of that. We don't want none of them apples. Let's go back. I'm not trying to join anybody here. Evidence, Portland's police seeking, working with federal officers. All right, let's see this. So what, I'm trying to see what exactly they're protesting there. Is it still the situation with the young black man that was killed by the policeman? I'm not really sure. Let's see. Let's see. Saludos. Oh, good, Melissa. I'm glad you're going to look it up. Do you agree with looting? Oh, no. I don't agree with looting or any bad behavior. If they want to state their mind, I think that, they can state it. I don't believe that people should be looting or hurting people or some of the crazy things that I saw. Yeah, I don't agree with that either. I don't agree with burning businesses, but I will tell you that I saw some videos of some people that looked like they were dressed up. Oh, my volume is low, they said. Okay, let me see if I can raise it up. Hold on. Maybe this is going to make it better. Can you hear me better now? They said my volume is low, and it seems to be pretty high here. Um, okay. So I'm really not sure what the protesting is about. It looked like it had something to do with some court case. Federal drawn. Okay. Protesters. Huh. People appeared to be detained. You know, I can see if, for example, they were doing something crazy, and attack, like if the protesters were attacking people, I can see why they would arrest them, anything like that. But I don't think they should be in unmarked vehicles where if they disappear, you'll never know or find out whatever happened to them. That would be scary. Let me see. Fredo, it is good. Beatriz, un poco mejor. Okay, so sound is better. Good, thank you. I'm really not sure why the volume is not good. This is very odd. Let me try this here. Testing. And the mic is very close to me, and it says it's in too high. Okay, perhaps I need to be higher here. Okay. So anyway, let's see. Yeah, protesters in Portland are there. They just have nothing better to do. Yep. Okay. So Melissa said she was going to look it up. Okay, well, maybe Melissa can tell us what is happening. Protesters were doing get nabbed and beat up. Yep. Yeah. I don't agree with any type of violence, of course, and but I do think people should have the right to protest in the streets, and display their disenchantment, especially with the government when they're doing things that are like what we witnessed. I don't know if any of you guys witnessed the situation with the police officer that had his foot or knee on the throat of the man that died. It was very, wow, it was very ugly. And I don't know how many of you guys got to see that, but it was absolutely terrifying to me that they could sit there and allow that to happen. Hello, Adriana. Thank you. Buenas tardes. Yeah, so this situation with them being hauled away is what I'm concerned with, because it happened in Mexico, and the people were never heard from again. In fact, to this day, they still haven't found in Guaxinapa, the 43 students. Plus, there was before that in 70, there was some other protesters that were taken away, put into dungeons, beat up. But I don't believe it was a protest where people were being violent or looting, and it's abhorrent to me, and I fear for us Americans now that that's the course they're starting to take, is to haul people away, kind of like the Guantanamo Bay thing where people disappear, and then they're never heard from again, or you just have no recourse to get an attorney or whatever, fight for your rights. Once you go there, you're gone. And I kind of feel like that's what's going on here. So I'm not really sure, but I just wanted to share this with you guys in case you hadn't heard about it, because it is scary that that it's happening, that people are disappearing. Let me see if there's anything else about that. Lie on the ground in front of police. Let's see this one. Maybe we can.
Trying to avoid getting faces, of course, but to accurately portray what's going on, it's a little difficult.
Let's see this one. Oregon officials subject to federal agents grabbing protesters. Let's see that one. So Melissa says they were defacing, rioting and defacing with graffiti and destroying federal buildings, and White House called in federal law enforcement. The protesters are tagging the buildings nightly, and it's getting repainted nightly. And after weeks of this is going on, the federal law enforcement is getting the vandals and being there. But I'm sure. Oh, okay. So that's what Miss Melissa Schoenfield found, that these protesters were defacing property. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Agents abuse power in arrests. This is what I'm concerned with, is the abuse of power situation. Let's see. What happened? Oregon contained detailed accounts. Oops, I hit the wrong button, sorry. Of witnesses who had seen federal law enforcement officers dressed in camouflage emerge in unmarked vehicles, grab protesters without explanations, and drive off. The last week has seen a violent escalation between protesters and federal agents. Deployed 2 weeks by Mr. Trump to quell civil unrest. OPB reports federal agents have been jumping out of unmarked vehicles throughout the city and grabbing protesters seemingly without cause. Videos checked the broadcast by the broadcaster shows protester Mark Pettibone described how on 15th of July he was basically tossed into a van containing armed people in body armor. Okay, well, so there's going to be a difference of opinion in terms of this. I do not agree with defacing property. The same thing is also happening in Mexico as well, by the way, where there's some vandals that are dressed up with their faces covered, who are defacing the statues in the public buildings, and they are believed to be paid by the opposition, who are the ones that were taken out of office, that were corrupt and stealing from the government and from the people. and this went on in the last few protests. But in Mexico, except for Jalisco, I believe in Jalisco, they also took some people away last week and they disappeared. So if you um, were wondering about that, that's what's scaring me, is that in Mexico, when people are taken away like that, they disappear. And I'll tell you, some of the things that are happening here in the US, I think sometimes are worthy of protesting. Not that I would ever be involved in anything that would, um, deface or loot or anything like that, but I do believe we need to protest against the government when they're doing things that are wrong, because they're harming the people in some way, or harming um, our rights in a way or another. Anyway, I appreciate your interaction. Thank you to Melissa Schoenfield for taking the time to research the information. Adriana Santoyo, buenas tardes. She was on here with us, and then we have At said that the sound is a little bit better. Esteban, let's see what Esteban says. Yeah, the protesters. Okay, he's the one who said they were up to no good over there. Let's see, I'm going to look it up. That was Melissa. Okay, and that's where she's asking me if I agree with looting, which I definitely do not. Uh, but let's see. Jesse is living in San Francisco. Well, thank you, Jesse, for tuning in. If you know of anything, that's happening like that where you're at, I have not been involved in anything to do with the protests. I usually don't even watch the news, but this I found to be very scary, because I would hate to be a protester that disappeared because someone in camouflage came and took me away. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but you never know when you're going to be the one protesting against something that's being done to you, and there's always rights being violated somewhere. And if you happen to see the situation with the young man that was killed by the police officer, that was pretty scary too. I mean, it's scary to me that someone could just sit there and kill somebody openly like that. And whether he was a thief or whatever, and as we've seen, and know people that do things that are bad, eventually, they either pay their debt to society or they live in prison forever. So, but to sit there and kill somebody in front of the world and the people, not to be able to do anything. Let's see. Melissa says, I know you don't agree with looting or violence of any kind, but if those kids are out at night and adults rioting, not protesting is a right. These are people rioting and being vandals. Well, I do agree with vandals and looters, being arrested. What I do not agree with is with them being taken away in like unmarked vehicles, and with their faces shielded, and then maybe not ever hearing from them again. If they did something wrong, some people are just, I think, overzealous and don't have the basic, how should I say, the basic training in life to teach them proper behavior, and then the way the media and people have been behaving, it's almost making it look like it's cool to riot and loot and all that. And of course there's always people out there trying to take advantage of the situation. But I I for one would be fearful of, not people that are just protesting being taken away and disappeared. Anyway, this is one person's opinion, but I think that attention needs to be brought to the fact that that they are being taken away and that they disappear in some cases. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, sorry. It's just my idea of this. Thanks a lot. Bye.